All right, today's lesson, quarterback rating. Make sure you copy that formula. This is how we're gonna find it. Quarterback rating, this 25, the 10, all the numbers that are there will always be there in the formula. Your goal is to find the parentheses, percentage. COM stands for completed passes. TD, touchdowns. INT, interceptions. Finally, the last one, the yards. This is how you're gonna find it. Once I give you the word problems, for example, percentage of completed is just completed passes divided by the attempts. Touchdowns, same thing. Touchdowns divided by the attempts. Notice all of them will be divided by the attempts. So let me go with one example. If you went over my lesson with a slugging average, you notice that I did a list on the side. I will do the same thing here. So in the meantime, read the problem. I'm gonna write the things I need on the side. So that's what I'm gonna try to solve. But the first one, it says completed. If you're wondering where I'm getting it, it's just from the other page I just showed you. Completed passes. So for the first two games of the 2008 Dallas Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo completed. So once it says completed, I'm gonna use that number. So completed 45. Divided by, like I said, it's in the previous page I just showed you, divided by the attempts. So he completed 45 passes in 62 attempts. I'll do the same thing with the other numbers. Touchdowns, if you keep reading the problem, for a total of 632 yards with 4 touchdowns. Over the attempts. Interceptions. 4 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Not only that, but I keep going with the yards. The yards, it was on the first line. 62 attempts for 632 yards. QR, that is missing. That's a good thing. Because now I just got to put it in the formula. But first things first, I got to find those decimals. Every time I give you answers on a video, make sure you double check them. So for the first one, I got this. Notice I am using 4 decimal places. Why? I will explain why. So for that one, because this one is asking me about a percentage, I gotta move that decimal twice to the right. So I'm gonna do it. 1, 2. You see that 8? I'm gonna do it to 1 decimal place. So that 8, because it's higher than 5, is gonna make my 5 go up by 1. So my final answer will be 72.6. The next number, 4 divided by 62. 6, 4, 5. 4 decimal places, because this has a percentage at the front, I will do the same thing. Final answer. I'm gonna do it to 1 decimal place, so this 5, because it's a 5. 5 and up will make the number go up by 1. 4 and less, it will make this number stay the same. So for this one, 6.5, 1 decimal place. Now interceptions. Once again, 4 decimal places. I'm gonna move it to this one, but I gotta look at this one, the 2, because it's less than 4. Well, 4 and lower, that means this number is gonna stay the same. So 3.2. The last one, very important, is not asking me for a percentage. So I don't have to move the decimal. You don't have to move the decimal. However, I still need 1 decimal place. So for that one, how much did I get? 10.19, because I don't gotta move the decimal. I don't need that many decimals. I only gotta look at this one, the 9, because this is a 9. 5 and up will make this number go up by 1. So my answer, 10.2. 10.2. Now I'm ready to use my formula. I am ready to use the formula. So let me scroll up so I can write the formula down. Formula states this, QR equals, I'm just gonna write it, plus N. The first thing that it asks is for the completed passes, so I have it, 72.6 is gonna go there. Plus 40, if you're wondering where I got it, is the formula I showed you at the beginning. 40 and the second thing I found, 6.5. Plus. Minus 50, and then my interceptions. Plus 50, finally, my yards. All that is divided by 12. You can just put that in the calculator and it will give you the answer. My advice, do the top portion first. Once you get an answer, hit equals and then divide it by 12. Again, my suggestion, do the top portion first. Final answer, quarterback rating. 113.4. Tony's Romo quarterback rating back in 2008 was 113.4. This is the easy problem. When the QR is missing, you just pretty much plug it in the formula. That's it. You plug it in the formula, obviously. I have to teach you when some of these things are missing. And that is the one that is coming up next. You can pause it whenever you want. I gotta keep going. The next problem. Ben Rogers, I don't know how to say that name, but Ben finishes with the quarterback rating of 96.5. For this one, they have provided me with the quarterback rating. I'm going to go ahead and already put it, the quarterback rating equals 96.5. Find his touchdowns, meaning I don't know how much my touchdowns is going to be. So let's keep reading the problem. When he was able to complete 452, so completed passes. Wrong color. 452 divided by, remember, you always divide it by the attempts, so 452 passes and 675 attempts. Find the decimal. Touchdowns, That is the one I'm looking for, but I still got to set it up. I know touchdowns. I don't know them. But I do know how many attempts. I suggest you put it in this form. Leave space, because I'm about to do something else at the end. Interceptions. Well, 675 attempts and then 16 interceptions. Finally, my yards, 5,129. So even though I'm giving you the answers, make sure you double check them. See if you can match them. Just do them. You were not in class, so that is not my problem. As usually I tell you to be in class so I can teach you this. So for the first one, I got this. For decimal places, move it twice. These three, remember, you always move it twice to the right. So this 6 is 5 and higher. That means it will make my 9 go up by 1. But the 9, it goes to a 0. And this one goes up by 1. So it's going to be finally 67. Again, the 6 makes the 9 go up by 1. But the next one is 10. So it goes to a 0. And this one goes up by 1. So 67. For my interceptions, move the decimal. I'm going to move it to this one, but I got to look at this one. The 7, 5 and higher will make this thing go up by 1. 2.4. My yards. Let me emphasize this. That one, you don't have to move it twice. You just got to round it to the first decimal place. Because this is a 9, it will make my 5 go up by 1. So final answer, 7.6. That's all I could find based on the information. Now it's order, see if I can use the formula. So I'm going to go on the other side. Let me scroll up because I'm going to need space. Quarterback rating. In my other formula, I started with QR, so now I got to start with the same thing, but this time it's a number. 96.5. 25. Plus 10. My first answer. Plus 40. That's usually where my touchdown goes, but I don't know what it is. I'm going to give it an X. Minus 50, my interceptions, 2.4. Plus 50, the yards, 7.6. All over 12. I got to make everything disappear. I got to find the value of that X. If you saw my video on slugging average, I showed you how to get rid of these divisions. This 12 is a problem. I got to get rid of it first. This is division, opposite of division, multiplication. If I multiply it by itself, it will move. 12 cancels with 12, but whatever I do on one side, I got to do it on the other side. So 12 times 96.5, you just multiply it. And this is what I got. 1158. That happened by just multiplying by 12. The 12 disappeared on this side. So I got to move the one I don't know. For the X, I'm going to bring it down because there's a variable. I don't know what it is. That's what I'm looking for. However, I can figure out the remaining number by just calculating the remaining numbers. 25 plus 10 times 67. Ignore the 40. and keep going. Minus 50 times 2.4 plus 50 times 7.6, and that's gonna give me the next number, which is 955. This just became a linear equation. I'm almost done. I gotta get rid of this number. That's plus 955, so the opposite of it. Cancels. Subtraction of this one, 202. Last step, that is a multiplication, the opposite of multiplication, divide by the number next to the variable. X equals 0.75. But because all my answers are in one decimal place, I want this in one decimal place also, because I'm getting here. So this 7 will make my 0 go up by 1, so my final answer, 5.1. The 7 makes the 0 go up by 1. This is not my touchdowns. Remember at the beginning to leave that space. That's very important, because watch what I'm about to do. That 5.1. Is that. The 5.1 is that. But in order to get here, did you notice that I kept moving the decimal twice? I moved the decimal twice. So in order for me to actually figure out this X, I gotta move back. So I'm gonna move the decimal back twice. So in reality, that's what I'm dealing with. And I'm gonna set it equal to this. Again, I took my 5.1 from this side and I moved it twice, because the 5.1 is just this portion here. Before I got to this step, I moved the thing twice to the right, so I gotta move it back, and I did. And I set it equal to the proportion I had at the beginning. Now my job is to solve for that X. Similarly to what I did with the 12, I gotta get rid of this 675. This is a division, so the opposite of it. This cancels, and you notice the X is by itself now. So whatever you do on one side, you gotta do it on the other side. X equals, once you multiply this, it will give you the final answer of touchdowns. That's how many touchdowns Ben got that year. And the final answer, 34. 34. I hope this video helps you. Like I said, I did my best, but in class, I go in more detail. All right, if you have any questions, reach out to me.